Good morning. It's January the 17th, and it's Tuesday. That seems to be the day I tend to walk downtown, and that's what I'm doing today. I have to go mail some stuff and pick up some pills, then I'm going to have lunch and work. So I'm actually going to head to the Cornwall Center first this time, and then come back to the Hotel Sask or somewhere for lunch. Probably Hotel Sask, because I'm a creature of habit. Creature of Hobbit. No, that was Tolkien. He was a creature of Hobbit. Where was I? Yes, so that's what we're doing. It's about -8, pleasant enough. It's horror frosty still, or again, so it looks nice and wintry. I was doing mostly publishing stuff again this morning. I have a new book that's now available on Amazon. Not my book, but that I published is now available on Amazon. Dolly Bird, which is a historical novel set in Saskatchewan in 1906 about a young woman, daughter of a doctor, has plans to be a doctor, which is, a tough row to hoe in 1906 anywhere. But then she gets pregnant and is shipped off to the wilds of Saskatchewan by her mother to get away from the shame of it all. And so then she has to make her way, and she becomes what was called a dolly bird at the time. Sometimes they were housekeepers, which is what she is, but some of them were also basically prostitutes. Or both. So there's a lot of stigma there. So yeah, that's the book. It's a very good book. It won the Willett Award for historical fiction a few years ago, and because it was originally published in 2013. And the author was just shortlisted for the Glengarry, another major literary award, so I'm pleased to have it out. It's out on Amazon, or will be. It's sort of linking up right now, I would imagine. And I know the Kindle is there, and the print book should be showing up now. And it'll show up everywhere else in the next few days. Still waiting on Ingram, the main distributor and the print-on-demand provider, to get its act together. So it's all coming together. Next week will probably be the official publishing day once everything's up and running. It's quite different from, I am a traditional publisher in that I'm paying royalties to authors and not charging them anything to publish them. But I'm not in the traditional model of traditional publishers, where you do a big print run, warehouse it somewhere, and all of that. Might get there, but right now I'm operating on print on demand, so my titles are kind of soft launched. They come out when they come out. I don't have a spring list, a fall list. And in a way, that's more like big publishers, which put out books every month. They may have a spring catalog and a fall catalog, but they're not putting all their books out in 1 month or anything like that. So don't know why that guy's sitting there, not moving. Took him long enough. Pretty hoar-frosty trees again. For some reason the gimbal seems to want to wander off to the side. I'm not sure what that's all about today. All right, just adjusting something there. I'm also carrying books. I have 3 copies of Thickwood, the historical novel I published earlier, or not this year, late last year, about set in 50s in Saskatchewan, early 50s, post-war, I guess, about the young woman who comes back from playing professional women's baseball in, a league of their own, that league, and loves horses and how she tries to make her way in her beloved Thickwood Hills. She wants to be a horse rancher, breeder. So I'm entering that. Well, the author is entering it, but I'm providing the books for the Willett Award, which same award that Dolly Bird won. They have a number of categories. It's for women riders. Somebody said something. Can I read it? I can't read that. And no, I haven't. And I did read it. No, I haven't. Very hard to read because of the gray lack of contrast here. Unless I get it in front of a dark background. Where was I? Right, so I've also got another book I'm mailing to somebody who's doing the audiobook narration for Star Song, my award-nominated young adult science fiction novel. So I got to mail that too. Then I got to pick up some stuff at the drugstore, drugs-wise, so that's why I'm headed. I'm going to head to the Cornwall Centre first and get that done. That'll be part one of the walk. And part two will come later when I'm done having lunch and working downtown. When I walk home. Something to look forward to. Well, I missed this one. So we'll carry on down this side of Albert because it's going to change here in a second. There it goes. Last night was at Westminster United Church for the 60th birthday celebration and recital by my friend Robert Erson, who's a terrific composer and songwriter, and he did a recital of his own work. Very well attended, accompanied by Rachel Andrist, she's from Estevan originally, but she's world-renowned accompanist, has been repetiteur for major opera companies. So it was a really wonderful event, and afterwards went out to Earl's, so that was nice. I think the whole thing is going to be on... I already said no, Bruce. I have not. I think the whole thing is going to be on YouTube. I'm interested to see what this is going to be. Wonder when it's going to open. Replaced La Bodega. I like it because it's very close to our house, so it's a good place to walk to, so I hope the new place is as well. So I'm stuck here on this side again because of the way the lights are working. This guy's blocking the crosswalk, which is slightly annoying. First Presbyterian Church, where we were married 25 years ago. At least walking down this side, I get to go by the cat cafe if there's any cats in the windows. Also, the art gallery, Nouveau Gallery, which we bought artwork at. Do they have any cats in the windows today? They're not actually open, but the cats are off in there. No, I don't see any. They must all be in the back still. The round building up there is Credit Union. It's a bit of a strip mall over here. The tall building is Viterra, which used to be the Saskatchewan wheat pool. The place with the tower is Fire Hall number 1. And looks like I'll get this crosswalk going this way too, so I will continue to stick to this side of Albert Street. Yeah, Thai here is one of our favorite Oriental restaurants, I guess you'd say. Or maybe not. Asian is probably a better word these days. Cathedral Social Hall. Used to go in there a lot, haven't been recently for reasons. I guess you'd call it a strip mall, although it's more offices than shops. Strip offices? That sounds awful. GMS over there, Group Medical Services, insurance, medical insurance. Which reminds me, my GMS bill is due. Should pay that. Should have paid it today because I could have mailed the check. I don't think they let you pay online, which is really annoying in this day and age. Unless they've changed. They certainly didn't used to. And here's Viterra, which started life as a department store, but their grand one. Nice architecture with terracotta figures and gargoyles up higher. Alright, how's this? I can keep going this way quite a bit since I'm headed to the Cornwall Centre, so if I have a... Oh, looks like I'll be able to cross to the right here pretty quick. So we'll go down Victoria, I guess. Just have to wait for the left turns here. North Canadian Oils building, at least that's what it used to be called. There's the crosswalk. Seems to be my day for people getting into the crosswalk in their cars. Now we'll just cross Victoria whenever the opportunity presents itself. The lawyer's firm in here used to be where Cotto Books, that published the aforementioned Dolly Bird, the one that I'm now putting out in a new edition. It was originally published here, or at least that's where their office was by the time I was connected with them. Yeah, it would have been there when Dolly Bird was published too, because it was published about a year before they published my Song of the Sword, started that series. Song of the Sword came out in 2014, as did Twist of the Blade. Lake in the Clouds and Cave Beneath the Sea came out in 2015. And the last one, Door into Fairy, came out in 2016. They were coming out every 6 months there, which was kind of cool. Maybe we'll go straight down this way since I rarely walk down this part of the road. This is City Hall over to my right. There's the entrance. City Hall. 17 stories. I used to work on the 15th floor for a few months when I was filling in for somebody in the communications department who was on not maternity leave, but adoption leave, I think. Or was that a maternity leave and the one at the leader post was adoption leave? I don't know. I did that a couple of times on contract many years ago now. Hello. Sorry, trying to read your name. Abia? Or Abaya? It is pretty, yes. Thanks to the hoarfrost. Without the hoarfrost, it's kind of gray and dreary, but with the hoarfrost, it turns into a winter wonderland. This building here is actually the parkade for City Hall. Coming up next. Used to park in there during those few months I worked here. And a lot of exhaust coming out of there for some reason. I don't think it's heated in any fashion. I don't know. Maybe there is some heat being used. This is Regina, Saskatchewan. So, right in the heartland, sort of smack dab in the middle. Out there is, which way should we go? We'll go down the other side. This is St. Paul's, which is Anglican Cathedral. It's okay. It's actually one of the oldest churches in town. It's about 19th century sometime, I think. Late 19th century, 1895 or something like that. Oof. Trianon Tower. There used to be a Trianon ballroom. I assume that's where the name comes from. It's an apartment building. I don't know if it's a seniors type place or just a general apartment building. I think it's more likely seniors. That's the Regina Public Library over there. I don't want to go up there and walk down the main. So I'll wait here. One of the old government office buildings. Still a government office building. There's the library over there. I was writer in residence there more than 10 years ago now. Used to come there every day for that. And Victoria Park over there where the trees are.
Oh, I'm for myself, but I still
I'll go down to Cornwall here, I think. This is a pretty angle on the park, though. That's the Hotel Saskatchewan to the right over there, and the curvy building is Sask Power, Saskatchewan Power Corporation. And up here is, what do they call it? City Square or something like that. This is where the farmers market is in sunnier, warmer times of the year. And various other events. It can be blocked off quite easily and turned into a pedestrian. And there's no through traffic. You can't come through from the other side or go. And it's one way on this side. So they got the Frost Festival coming up. I guess that'll be the next thing. There's an outdoor skating rink being set up here. or already set up, maybe. I don't remember that building. I presume it's permanent. Oh, when did they build that? You'd think I would notice these things. And we'll go down Cornwall here. This is an old building, but the site is also where, if I remember right, where Louis Riel was in prison. Yeah, there it is. Oh no, that's where his body was interred. So I didn't remember quite right, but I knew it had a connection to Louis Riel. So that's an old building. The church where his body was interred, or was, or held, whatever, was much older than that. RM of Sherwood. And this here is Royal Canadian Legion, branch number 1. Number 1 of all the legions across the country. Right there. That's the old Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce building. Has a really fine restaurant now on the bottom called Avenue, run by Dale McKay, who was winner of the first Top Chef Canada competition. I think I'll actually stop right up here. There's nothing much to go see around the corner, so I'll stop on this corner with the walk, and I'll pick it up later when I head home again. So there's Avenue. Thanks for walking with me, and I'll be back a bit later on for the walk home. Good afternoon. It's still January the something 17th, I guess. The days blur. So I finished at the Hotel Saskatchewan, which is where I currently am, looking out their back window here in the stairwell. Sort of be looking at their parking lot and heading home from here. So off we go. Look at Blessed Sacrament Church over there. I've sung in there a few times. I used to record there with the University of Regina Chamber Singers when I sang with them. I went down that way last time, so I think I'll zigzag over this way this time. Take a little jaunt down the alley here. Down the back side of the Hotel Saskatchewan, which is a Marriott, like almost everything is, it seems like. Just gonna walk home in about 20 minutes. Didn't get any writing done. I was busy trying to solve a problem. This thing I'm writing is set in the Second World War, and the scene that the guy who came up with the story that I'm turning into a script once had nurses examining recruits, and I cannot find any indication that female nurses would have been examining, doing the full body examination of recruits. His whole point is to have, the recruits are embarrassed by that and the nurses aren't, but I don't think that happened. So I'm going to have to check some more material, and then I may have to talk to the guy who came up with the story. I'm just adapting a story that he came up with, but I still if it's going to be set in the Second World War, it's basically it is a historical story, and we need to try to get our history right. So anyway, I spent all my time trying to verify that this scene was possible, and I so far haven't managed to do so. But I have some books at home I'll look in and see what they say. I think he may have made it up, and he may want to unmake it up. That being the case, and we rethink the scene. I also got an interesting email from someone who might be looking for I don't know if it's a ghostwriter or at least someone to help her write her life story, and fairly prominent someone. So hope to give her a call sometime soon and see if I can help her with that. That would be interesting to do. I won't say more than that because, if I end up ghostwriting it, I would be secret. Now let's cross over here. I'll go this way, sort of zigzagging my way home today. That's the Salvation Army over there. This building used to have APEGS in it, the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan, back when I wrote the history book. But it doesn't anymore. They have a new not that new anymore, but new as of a few years ago, office over in Harbor Landing. Two-way stops, so a good place to cross over. Walking down Lawrence Street now. These places for lease if you're looking for an office in this neighborhood. I wish Shadowpaw Press was successful enough to have its own office, but it isn't. Not yet, anyway. I need a staff to justify an office, and I don't have a staff. Just me and the cat. And as I keep saying, he's no help at all. In fact, he's a nuisance if he jumps on my lap when I'm trying to work on the computer. There, let's take a slightly odd path here. I just like the way that tree is with the hoarfrost with the dark background of the apartment building there. Everything looks better with a little frost on it. Not exactly underground parking, but at least sheltered parking in this apartment. There's the tree. Down the alley here, I think, between the buildings. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I don't know that I've ever walked down this little piece of between building space before. Parking over there. Looks like we can jaywalk here, nobody coming. Is that a house or an office? Hard to say. It is hard to say in this neighborhood. Ripplinger over there, which I pointed out before, is an art gallery and gift shop. There's a stop sign here, so let's cross on over. Apartment for rent if you're looking in this building. That's actually a little family-run Chinese restaurant over there. Good food. No ambiance, but good food. I assume they're still operating. They have the sign on top there, so I assume so. Oh. The gimbal completely gave up the ghost on switching when I changed direction there. So I'll cross here because there's a stop sign. Once upon a time, this was a vegetarian restaurant that I ate in, Heliotrope. Heliotrope is still a farming operation, and you can buy their vegetables at farmer's market, but that's now a hair salon, I think, in that building. This is a colorful one here. I think it's a house. I don't think that one's a business of any sort. And then there's one of our older apartment buildings here. Not as old as some, but older than others. Not very architecturally interesting, this one, though. It's just a big blank wall with windows in it. Prairie Place. I don't know if it's seniors or not. These are kind of condos over here, I think. This side. At least they keep their sidewalk nice and cleared, which I appreciate. So you have this row of sort of duplexes, and then going up to the back you have more apartment style in that place. Never gone up those stairs all the years I've lived here. More old houses, which may or may not still be houses. I think that's a business because it has a sign. Yes, Benchmark Public Relations. This one might be a house, though, looking at it. As well walk through the parking lot here. I think it's mostly medical offices in this building that's now above us. Slippery down here too because of the packed snow under my shoes. Just a second. Let's get rid of some of that. And then we're on 15th and almost at College Avenue. I think I can probably safely cross here. Oh, why don't I walk down the alley then, since I ended up here? And we'll pick up Albert Street once we get a little further up here. There's a restaurant in there. Old garage there. Ooh. It's a little bit slushy today, which actually makes it harder to walk than when it's frozen really hard. go through this parking lot. This building, which now has a escape room in it, used to be where Derek Olson, who was a goldsmith, was based. And actually, this is where I got my wedding ring 25 years ago. It was in this building. There's Thai Garden, as I said. Thai restaurant. Over there is the original Saskatchewan Government Telephones building, and the tall one behind it was the second telephones building. Now it belongs to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum and has fossils and stuff in it, laboratories. As I've often mentioned, a few years ago there was a big story about a world-famous fossil that was found in amber, and it was in that building, not far from my house, when I was reading about it on Reuters and international news sites. Now, once we get up here, of course, we have to wait for the light to change. And that was the second Saskatchewan Government Telephones building, designed by noted local architect Joseph Pettick. Someone else I knew at one point. He's been dead for a few years now, but I knew him, had some interesting conversations with him over the years. Went to his house a couple of times. He also designed City Hall and the Sask Power building, which was right across the street from the Hotel Saskatchewan, where I ate lunch. And I've walked by his house, his old house, a few times on my walks because he was in the neighborhood. Lots of pretty hoarfrost on the trees still. We're almost home. Just up here to the crescent and down. Tonight we're going to a Korean barbecue dinner with the German Wine Society that we've been members of for many years. So looking forward to that. Tomorrow I have a podcast interview with an author named Monty Schultz. And his last name might be familiar because he's the eldest son of Charles M. Schultz, the Peanuts creator. He's written a fantasy story. And I thought, yeah, he'd be interesting to talk to. So tomorrow I am talking to him. Guess I'll walk down this side of the street because I think I walked down the other side coming down. Angus Crescent with the trees looking pretty. Oh! See, it's very easy to do that. I fell off the curb because I could not see it. Because there's no contrast, it's just white. And it looked like it should all be flat, but it wasn't. It's okay, I'm okay. I'll survive. As you can see from the pile of snow, they scraped our street last week. Got rid of some ruts. They didn't, however, have us move our cars, so there's actually kind of a ledge over there that all the cars are parked on. of packed down snow. And I slipped on that this morning, so winter is hazardous. Here's the new house. Nobody seems to be working there today. That provides a nice bright spot of color, doesn't it? Oof. I hear somebody working somewhere, but it doesn't seem to be in that house there. But I hear a saw going somewhere. Didn't see a saw, didn't see saw, just heard saw. Somewhere off to my left. Somewhere right over there. Can't see anything from here, but it sounds like it's just the other side of that house there. Might as well cross here. Oh boy. Some sidewalks along here have not been cleared at all, as far as I can tell. To be fair, ours isn't exactly down to the bare pavement. If you fall behind a little bit because of all the foot traffic, it gets beaten down so hard it's very difficult to completely clear until you get some really warm weather. And while we've had fairly mild weather, we haven't had warm melting weather just yet. So, all right, here's where I'll stop. So, thank you for walking with me. If you did, I think there's a few live viewers or have been on this walk. And we'll see what happens the rest of the week. I'll be back. I don't know exactly when.